Resident Evil 7 was Capcom's attempt at returning back to the series' horror survival roots, and their attempt to do this worked amazingly, but I'm not here to talk about Resident Evil 7. I'm here to talk about the latest installment, Resident Evil Village.
Return is due. In a blink, the girl was trapped inside a mirror.
You play as Ethan Winters just like in the previous game, except this time you don't go looking for your wife Mia, but instead you are looking for your daughter Rose. Once again, just like in the previous game, Ethan has to suffer through traumatic things before he can continue his search. He first witnesses his wife Mia being shot to death by Chris Redfield, presumably so Ethan could continue the Redfield bloodline.
Chris? Sorry, Ethan. Why? I really need you to fuck my sister.
And then he loses half of his left hand. Honestly, in my opinion, this game is way more brutal than the previous game. Then Ethan makes his way to the village, which serves as the main hub of the game that connects all four of the Lord's houses. House Dimitrescu, Benevento, Moro, and Heisenberg. And no, not that Heisenberg.
Now, say my name.
Anyways, let's talk about the game, not the whole story. Gameplay-wise, it's very similar to the previous installment, as you are once again in first person and have an inventory screen where you can reorganize items so there's more room for new items. This time you aren't fighting the Baker family's twisted experiments called Molded, but instead you fight Lycans, which are werewolf-like creatures. You also fight Moro Ikas, flying Moro Ikas, and Heisenberg's twisted experiments. While playing, I was constantly seeing similarities between Village and Resident Evil 4, which both took place in a village. Both games also feature a merchant who you can buy things from and sell things too. This time you can also cook food, which permanently increases some of your stats. In terms of horror, as this game is survival horror after all, it was less scary than Resident Evil 7, even though you are chased by an invincible enemy in both games. Only the 7th game actually made it scary. One of the reasons being is probably because Jack Baker was actually scary, and he walked through a kitchen wall as a jump scare. Meanwhile, Lady Dimitrescu, she's just a 9-foot tall woman, which the community loves, so I mean there's nothing really to be scared of. Before I move on to the next section, one of the four houses was actually entirely horror oriented and you had zero access to your weapons, and I gotta say that was one of the scariest moments of my whole gaming career.
I don't know what I'm doing! Shit! Fuck me! Shit! What the fuck? I don't fucking know! Fuck! Stop screaming! Stop!
The game was honestly much better than I anticipated, although much shorter than what I had hoped for, which resulted in me completing the game in 7 hours. Capcom did a great job with this game in terms of improving on the previous game and making it feel like you were actually in a snowy village in Eastern Europe. It was also connected to the rest of the Resident Evil series a lot more than I expected. I thought they were reusing characters from the previous game just because the community liked Ethan, but without spoiling anything, towards the end of the game you get a big, and I mean a really big reveal that connects to the previous game. And we have reached the end of the video. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for watching. If there's something I could improve on in terms of game reviews, let me know in the comments, as that would be a big help. Also, this video was supposed to be out way sooner, like when the game first released back in beginning of March, but I was way too lazy to write the script. But anyways, that's all from me, and I will see you all in the next video.
せーの。